Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Representatives Cassida, Cooper, Doggett, Eldridge, Grills, Johnson, Leatherwood, Mitchell, Rudd, Sexton, Sherrill, Travis, Warner, Weaver, Vice Chairman Byrd, Chairman Wendell. You have a quorum.
Any announcements? Introductions? If not, let me give the committee a parliamentary update. We have one bill on the calendar today, and that is House Bill 33. And at the request of the sponsor, she has asked for a 5-minute recess, and we're going to make sure the committee's in agreement with that because she wants to take a look at a possible amendment that she wants to file with this bill. And if there's an objection, please let me know. If not, we're going to take a 5-minute recess to allow Ms. Cooper the opportunity to talk with our attorneys. And we're in no hurry today. I want to make sure that Ms. Cooper feels like she's been heard in this committee, and we'll make sure she's treated with respect. And if there's any question about that, I'll take it now. If not, we'll take a short recess of 5 minutes and come back in. And it's my understanding, to set the stage, and it's her bill, not mine, but it's my understanding that she wants to rewrite her bill to include the inclusion of a statute on the plaza and not to rename the plaza. And I'm not going to speak for her, but that's my understanding of what she intends to do. And Ms. Cooper has asked for a 5-minute recess in order to have that drafted. And remember, we're in the middle of a 2-year session, and you're recognized, Mr. Travis.
The statute, that would be at the public's expense, not ours.
Correct. Be no fiscal note. Barring any objections, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. Thank you very much for your patience. We're back in session. The sponsor of the bill, Representative Cooper, and I have discussed this with our legislative attorneys, and we're told that the caption is not broad enough to file an amendment to place a statute. Therefore, without objection and agreement with the, are you seeking recognition? Yes. Okay, absolutely. You're recognized, Representative Cooper.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. It's really a delight to work with the committee, really to be up here doing the people's work. But ever since House Bill 33, to honor Ida B. Wells, her accomplishments have illuminated as one of the greatest in modern history. The more I read, the more I learn, because I didn't know a whole lot myself growing up. And it will inform the people and educate children. And most citizens will really be proud of her bravery, physical and moral courage. And in summary, just for you, and I know many of you, some of you have had time, we just working so hard up here. In summary, Ida B. Wells was born enslaved and was grateful for the emancipation. It even stated in the reading that she was grateful for the Emancipation of Proclamation. She led the anti-lynching crusade for enslaved people, completed her education in Fisk University. She was born in Mississippi and went to Memphis, and she taught school there until that yellow fever came in, and it devastated. Her parents were killed with the yellow fever, and she took her siblings and trained them, lived with an aunt in Memphis, but until a tragedy happened there. So she was in Britain, I think, as I can remember, and when she got the call and said, "Don't come back to Memphis," but then she came to Nashville and completed her education at Fisk University. And I was really excited to hear that, because some of the details, I remember the name, but I didn't remember a lot of the details like many of us probably haven't. And I am really urging you and pleading with you to see her worthiness. She was a leader for the women's suffrage. I mean, took a big lead. She was on the march when the women went to say, "We're gonna vote," and so she was a part of that. Worked with the women in that suffrage movement, and I think she deserves this honor and recognition as a person who fought for human rights and social change. So Ida B. Wells' religious faith was as strong as her devotion for civil rights and women's rights. And you know what the Bible says. Pastor, you sitting here that just came to me, faith without work is what?
Dead.
It sure is dead. So she was a hard worker. And I plead that you will consider honoring Ida B. Wells. And I thank you for this time. And Mr. Chair, you've just been wonderful to work with me on this. This is asking for your support. If there are any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Any questions for the sponsor? If not, Mr. Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I will be looking forward to our next meeting and your story about Ida B. Wells.
Chairman Castor, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so there's a motion with a second, and it's for us for debate and hopefully a vote. Is that the parliamentary standing that we're on this bill?
No, my understanding is, I don't think we've got a motion. My understanding is that the sponsor intends to find either another caption that will carry a bill to place a statute somewhere on the plaza. And at this point, without objection, and I will make sure that I say this correctly, without objection, this bill will be placed on the desk, subject to the recall by the speaker. And in the meantime, I have pledged to work with the sponsor to try to find a caption, and maybe the Dolly Parton statue caption. But we're going to try to work with the sponsor so she can have her fair hearing about honoring Ida B. Wells, and she's very passionate about it. And I know this committee wants to be fair to her and wants to show her respect. And if I'm misstating that, Representative, please clear me up. I want to make sure I've stated that correctly, that
Yes.
we're going to work together to try to get this worked
Yes,
out.
Mr. Chair.
And everybody in this committee respects you, I can assure you of that. And we want to work with you, and we're subject to the call of the chair as far as another meeting. So this is probably not going to be our last meeting, but we're going to work with the attorneys this week and see if we can figure out a path in order to allow the representative to have a hearing on this. And thank you very much.
And thank you,
Representative
Mr. Chair and members.
and before we finish up today, I want to thank Katie Robertson and Zach Brown. They've both done an excellent job this year. I couldn't have asked for more, and I don't think this is going to be our last meeting, but we do appreciate both of you. You've both conducted yourself ethically and professionally, and it's appreciated by every member of the committee. And Jeremy, we're glad to have you here today. You're stand-in, but we're glad to have you. And I want the committee to thank Miriam Youssef, who has worked with us. Miriam, she's worked extremely hard this year, and we appreciate her hard work. And with that, we are dismissed at the call of the chair, and I suspect we'll see you in the next couple of weeks. But thank you very much for your patience with me this year. It's appreciated. Thank you. We're adjourned.